Hello, hello, hello. Today we are going to get into it and we are going to talk about it. Bag lady, is the weight of it all worth the cost? I know, and I've seen you guys with your bags. They probably look something like this. And I want to know, is it going to be worth the cost? This is what I'm talking about. You are organized, you are efficient, and you are cute all at the same time. You have bags like this, and you are able to carry like your laptop, and you are able to do your water bottle, all of those different things. And you're carrying all the things. You look cute doing it, but should you? Should you have everything in this bag? And is it worth it? What is it actually costing you? Well, we're going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about the cost of carrying these items, what you can do about it. And I want to make sure that you guys watch to the very end because I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do. If you are new here, I want to say welcome and thank you for joining. I am Dr. Ashley Booth. I am a board certified family medicine physician and I provide tips that you can use in your everyday life because what I understand is that life affects your health. I'm ready to get into it, but before I do, I want to make sure that you have already subscribed and you have on your notification bell so that way I will know that, and that way you can get the content when we put up new content and you'll be notified of it. The other thing is, if you are watching, go ahead and put in the chat where you're watching from. I am actually in Georgia right now, so I'm hoping that the power and everything stays on because we are under a hurricane watch and flood warnings and all of that, some high wind and advisory. So if you are watching and if you are in Georgia, I hope that you are sheltering in place and doing it safely. But let me know who is watching and then share it. Let other people know, hey, this is what's going on and this is what she's talking about today. So let's go ahead and get into it. I was looking for a bag to help me carry a lot more things because I said, listen, if I can carry a lot of these things in one place, I can be more efficient. I'm not having to carry multiple bags. I'm not having to do this and that and look for this and look for that. It's all in one place. And that is a great thing. And I did not think that that was going to be perfect. But they just so happened at that time gift me a bag. And I said, this bag is going to be perfect. So I thought. Because I started putting these things in the bag. I put my things, my wallet, my keys, my water bottle, phone, all of that, those things, right? Then I started putting my kids' stuff in there, their snacks and their waters and all of that. And over time, this bag just started to kind of fill its little self up. And after a while, I said, man, something is off. Something is different. I couldn't quite figure out what that was, couldn't put my finger on it. But then I took a break from that purse for a while. Not because I just chose to, it was because I was like, oh, I don't need this purse for the next few days. I'm gonna carry something smaller, wore my smaller purse, wore my little fanny pack, and was fine. But then I went back to the heavier bag because I needed to do some other things. Well, I'll say my larger bag, right? So I went back to that bag because I needed to put more things in there. I was doing more. But then as soon as I put that bag on, I was like, oh, this is heavy. This is the problem. And that's when I realized that that was the source of my discomfort. That is what's been happening. And I realized that that is happening to a lot of you guys. Growing up, you and I probably saw ladies with large purses. And now we are the ladies with the large purse, right? I used to have friends, even when we were kids, we would try to find a big purse because we wanted to mimic the other ladies that we saw that had their purses. And with that, we would put all the things in there because the ladies that had the nice size purse, that's who you sought out at church on Sunday because you knew they were going to have the good stuff. They're going to have some candy, gum. They had all kinds of stuff in there. They had their shades, their makeup, even bills. I've seen people that have bills that they need to go pay, bills that they have paid, receipts. You name it, they have it. You need a fingernail file. Listen, everything was in that purse. So you knew who to go ask because you knew that they were going to have it. But is all of this weight actually costing you, and especially costing you with your health? So I'm going to tell you some of the ways that it can present itself. One of the things is it can affect your posture. What happens is when you put that purse on that shoulder, you have to now use that to help bring it up. While you're doing that to bring it up, the other side kind of shifting and going down to the other side. You may not notice it, but that's what's happening. And when you have that shift, then you see, yes, the candy lady, and ask her for the purse, for the goodies. Yes, because she still has that big bag. Exactly. Yes, Middleton understands what I'm talking about with the candy lady in the bag. Y'all know. And with that bag, she's having to lift that shoulder up the candy that is in her bag. And that is causing a misalignment. And I know Middleton, who's watching, is going to be able to tell me, yes, she is right about this misalignment because he does a lot of this all the time. And that misalignment is going to eventually lead to some pain. You're going to have some discomfort with that. It causes a curvature of your spine. So you're going to have a shifting with that. And that can also affect your balance. When it affects your balance, then you're thrown off because that affects your gait and how you walk. So then you're changing that. And then with all of this weight on one side, then that is going to affect how you walk. That's going to throw things off and that's going to affect your balance. So it is affecting a lot of things. The other thing is the muscle strain that it's putting here. So it is causing a lot of strain on your muscles in this area. It's causing some muscle pain. It can lead to some muscle spasming and ultimately some muscle pain. You can also have some neck pain from that. People say, oh, yeah, I'm just having some neck pain. You could start experiencing that. The other thing is pinched nerves. That bag can be so heavy that it can pinch a nerve. And when you start having that, you can start having this shooting pain, a numbness and tingling. It can be in your neck, it can be in your arms, it can be in your hands, your fingers. You can start experiencing that. It can lead to what they call spinal degeneration. When you have this degeneration, you could be wearing down some of that cartilage and cushioning that you have in your spine because you have shifted, you have moved, you're putting more wear and tear on it. Just kind of like when you hear about people with the arthritis in their knees and they say bone on bone, they still have cartilage in my knees. Same thing can start happening in your spine. When you have that, also lead to pain. And that pain can be debilitating sometimes, and it can be really difficult and really hurt. But this is what happens before sometimes you experience it. Sometimes you may start experiencing those symptoms, but what that is has gotten used to something that is not right. So you have felt this discomfort, you have felt this pain, and then you said over time to it's like it doesn't even exist anymore. Even though it's there, you are not experiencing it. So what happens is you're just going along day to day with that pain, but you're not realizing it because your body is kind of like tuned it out. And this is how I know it's happening because what I do is in my office, sometimes I'll move ladies' purses. I was like, hey, I just want to move your purse over here for a moment because I want to put this down. And they say, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I get ready to move some of these purses, and it's like I have to do a workout because I'm like, oh, and I lift it up and I was like, what do you have in here? Because it feels like I'm lifting a ton of bricks. And they're like, oh, it's not that heavy. And I'm like, really? It's heavy to me. And I know that that is just entirely too much weight, but your body has adapted to it and you don't think that it weighs that much. But all of these things, if they go on for too long, can lead to surgery. There are some people who've had these issues because people say, I'm having neck pain, I'm having back pain. People say, well, have you been in an accident? Has this happened? Has that happened? You're like, oh no. Well, it could be, and the culprit could be your purse, honestly. And when we're thinking about the purse, thinking about you're carrying all this stuff, why? Why are you carrying it? Because that leads to like a more emotional and psychological reasoning behind it. Why do we feel the need to carry all the things? Not only physically, but emotionally and psychologically, why do we have to be the source of everything for everybody? I have a lot of people who come in and they sit down and say, yeah, I have to do this and I have to do that and da 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 da, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that is a lot. But why do we feel the need to carry all of these things and be all the things for people? I get it. There are some essentials that you have to have and you have to do. I get that part of it. But why are you overly extending? Why are you overly prepared? Why do you have to have all of the things figured out? And some people say, well, because they're going to ask me. Well, because if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. But why? Why do you have to be the singular person? So that's something else that we have to think about, because what I'm noticing and what I'm seeing in a lot of people is this is leading to stress. And this is not only just regular stress, this is what I like to call stress adaptation. Just like we had the neural adaptation where your nerves and your body gets used to that weight, same thing can happen to you emotionally and psychologically. Your body can physically get used to this stress, but it's going to start to present itself in other ways. You're going to start to have high blood pressure, you can have diabetes, you can have a stroke, a heart attack. I have seen these things happen to people who were just so stressed out. And sometimes that when it comes in that adaptation, like I said, people are not aware that they are stressed. A lot of people sit down and I say, well, walk me through your day from the morning to the night. Tell me, what does your day look like? And once they start and they keep talking, they're like, I didn't realize I had so many things that was going on. And I didn't realize that that was really affecting me like that. And I didn't realize. People start to unpack it and start to see, I am doing a lot for a lot of people. And then they look, what am I doing for myself? And they haven't done those things. So that is what you have to start unpacking and thinking about. But there's something that you can do. Like I said, I have tips. I never just put out all the bad things and tell you what can happen. I'm telling you what you can do. So one of the things you can do, the very first thing I want you to do is to lighten the load. Lighten the load, lighten those purses, first of all. You want to aim for 6 pounds or less. And some people say 6 pounds, that's not a much. Okay, 6 pounds. Think about a bag of sugar. A bag of sugar is about 5 pounds. And then you can add two more cups on that, and that'll give you another pound. That is 6 pounds that you are holding on to on one side. I think that is enough. I read somewhere else where they said that you could do 10% of your body weight. I do not agree with that. And the reason why is because depending on your body weight, that can go up to 20 pounds or more. Think about 20 pounds is a 2-year old. That's essentially your average 2-year old. Think about a 2-year old hanging on your shoulder and you're picking and lifting it up every day, several times of the day. Do we really need a 2-year old worth of stuff that we're carrying around with us multiple times of the day? So I don't necessarily agree with that whole 10%, but I think if you aim for 6 pounds or less, I think that will give you the essentials that you need. Also, you want to distribute the load. Instead of just having it on one shoulder, the cross bodies are good because that strap comes around and it goes from one side to the other. And so you're able to hold on one shoulder, but then on the other side is where you're carrying the weight. But it helps you to kind of balance and distribute that weight a lot better than just one sole side doing it. You can do two straps, a backpack. A backpack is perfectly fine to wear, not to fill it up and do all the things with it, but you can put your backpack on. The other thing is, don't overstuff your bag. One of the things is, just because you have a small bag doesn't mean that it's not overstuffed. It can be. If you have a large bag, the tendency is to start now putting all the things in it. That increases the weight. And then a large bag can be overstuffed. So don't overstuff your bag. Carry the essentials. Look at here. You don't have to carry this in your purse. Okay. I know that you are carrying the essentials. Moisturizing yourself and having some lotion is an essential thing, but carry like the travel size. If you have a family, I get it. You can probably get away with this. I'm not a huge fan of this size. I still prefer travel size, but I know if you have multiple people that you're trying to moisturize and make sure that they are not ashy, I get it. You can carry something like this, but you want to think more travel size. We don't have to do full size of everything with it. Okay. And if you're noticing that you're having a lot of these symptoms, especially the physical symptoms, neck pain, back pain, numbness, tingling in your fingers, go to your primary care doctor when you are starting to experience this, because they can then say, okay, these are some interventions that we can do. You may need to try some exercises. Let's lighten the load. Let me see if some medication can kind of help get some of that inflammation out. Do I need to send you to a specialist? But the sooner you do it, the sooner you contact your primary, the sooner they are able to get you some relief, and you don't have to go down that path of surgery. The longer you let these things go on and you ignore the signs and symptoms, or your body gets so adapted to it that it's not aware of what's going on, the worse things can get. So you want to do that. If you're noticing that you are carrying some emotional baggage around, some psychological things, some mindsets that are not serving you well, then you want to make sure that you get connected to a therapist so they can help you unpack those things, so you can lighten your load. That way you can start putting up boundaries and say, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. You have to, as I tell people all the time, you have to save yourself. When you're on the plane, they say put the mask on yourself. Even when you have that cute little baby in your lap, they say put the mask on yourself first, because you can't save anybody else until you save yourself. So it helps you to create and build those boundaries. So I hope all of these tips helped you. Right now, we have a purse challenge that is going on. Guys, if you're watching, you can still do bags. I'm seeing a lot of guys with bags and stuff too. You guys are carrying some heavy bags as well. Post them in the on the Facebook, in the chat, on the comment section. You can, I have it on Facebook and Instagram, and it's just a fun thing. There's no judgment. Want to see who has a large purse, who has a small purse, and then I can give you some tips on what you can do, especially if you have a large purse, how we can literally lighten the load. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I am wishing you healing, and I will see you soon. Take care.